Hey you folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to Let's Play RimWorld Alpha 8. I have not played RimWorld since, well, the pre-Kickstarter days, basically. And so many things have changed, and I've always wanted to go back, and now that there's so much additional content in the game, I'm really excited to be playing again. RimWorld, for those of you who don't know, is basically the love child of, Dwarf Fortress, Prison Architect, and Firefly. Yeah, it's true. There's some sort of like three-way thing going on, and it's amazing, sort of like survival building, awesome game of awesome. So we're gonna have to start off by creating a world. So there's a random seed we can do. You can copy the same seed if you want to play on the same world. We're gonna go ahead and generate it, and there's the world that we're going to be playing on. Alpha 8 added the various biomes of oh, that's the boreal forest. Where's the tundra? There's some tundra stuff. Very frigid terrains are possible. We've got some desert over here because I'm pretty new to the game, and I have played it. I played it a long time ago, but I haven't played any of it with the new features. I'm going to go ahead and start in a relatively gentle biome. One over here, temperate forest, sounds pretty good. The average temperature in January is -7 degrees Celsius, so not that cold at all, really, and 26 in the summer, which is not terrible either, although there'll be heat waves and blizzards and that sort of thing that will dramatically alter the temperature, so I think that's going to be fine. So, yeah, anyway, we'll start a new colony from there. We'll play on Cassandra Classic for the Storyteller. We're going to go ahead and play on Challenge Mode, which probably means I'm going to be utterly destroyed because I really don't know how to really play the game too much. Our world, by the way, is called Matar 1. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and we got different stones and stuff to choose from. I'm going to start off here. Growing period is going to be from April to September, which is not the most generous period. If we move around, I was going to say we should probably be able to find some March to October things over here, but we'll go ahead and do that. So a little bit more frosty up here. Wherever I'm clicking now, it's going to be somewhat more cold, up to -9 in the winter. That's going to be fine. There's a whole advanced pick where you can change your actual, like, embarkation size if you want to use the Dwarf Fortress sort of mentality. The default starting month, I believe, will put you at the beginning of the growing period, but you can change it if you want. If you want to land in the middle of winter, if you want to do something crazy like that. And I like how there's Ludion Nicris. Ludion is the game studio that makes it for really big things. We'll just stick with the standards and see how it goes. So we get 3 starting colonists all the time, and they are randomly generated. They get a random name and nickname. So you can see here that James Frisk doesn't have a nickname, it's just his last name over here, whereas over here we've got Otis Wolf Holland, and we've got Sam Nerhesi Wissa. And so Wolf is a vat-grown soldier and a colony settler. This determines certain abilities. So because he's a vat-grown soldier, for example, he can't do any sort of caring or social activities, which means he can't be a prison warden if you get any prisoners, and he can't do any doctoring whatsoever. He's trigger happy, which actually gives him a penalty to shooting and a penalty. Wow, it does make him aim a lot faster. He fires in half the time, but he gets a penalty to aiming. I'm not sure we're going to want to do that. I don't think I'm going to re-roll it. I could randomize it, re-roll all these stats if I wanted to. I'll mostly try to keep things as is. Sam over here, or Nerhesi, was a Star Force cadet and an ace fighter pilot. He's not incapable of anything. He can do anything he wants, although he does start with a skill of 0 in there, and he's got no passion for it, so he's going to learn slowly. The little flames show you the passion. At 1 flame level, you gain experience at base level. If you ever get double flame, like here, Wolf is actually super interested in farming. So not only is he starting with a relatively high skill in growing, he's actually got a burning passion for it, so he learns 50% faster, which is quite good. So okay, that works out okay. We've got traits warm-skinned. So he is naturally warm, handles cool temperatures better than most. That's actually going to be really useful where we are. And he's got a green thumb for growing, which is pretty handy. And then finally, Frist over here was a frightened child and a joywire artist. Joywire artist means he doesn't do any manual labor. No cleaning, no hauling, no plant cutting. Won't chop down trees. That's pretty poor. He's also incapable of anything scary. He won't fight fires. This guy is useless. His skills aren't particularly impressive. Prostophobe, so he doesn't want prosthetics. Bionic body parts are bad. And he's psychically sensitive. I'm tempted, really tempted to re-roll this guy. But, you know, we'll take who we've got. Are they all dudes? You know what? I'm going to re-roll James. We're going to get a woman here just to mix it up a little bit. Holy shooting Batman. Although this is 2 people who are incapable of caring or social. I don't like the idea of only having 1 person who can ever do any doctoring. So I'll give it 1 more roll. She is abrasive. Exactly what's on mine, especially if it's bugging her. That tends to run people in a bad way. But she's super passionate about construction, growing, research, and crafting. Actually decent at shooting. All my groupers relatively half decent at shooting. She's actually pretty strong over here. She's 63, but there you go. I think that's our party, so we're going to go ahead and start. It'll generate our local map based on the world map, and then it'll drop us off somewhere in the game world. Let's take a look. The three of you awaken your crypto-asleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rim world. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. All right. Boom, boom, boom. So we're going to let the landing go. There we go. So we've got our people. So we've landed here in the middle of a field of debris. And if we zoom out, we can see the area that we're going to be playing in. Right over here. Now, we're going to have some neighbors. There's going to be some neighboring colonies, some pirates, all sorts of things. What are these? Some muffalos over here? Well, that's a poplar tree. Yep. Land where the muffalo roam. There's actually some additional survival package meals over here, which are going to be really useful early on. To the extent where I'm actually going to unforbid this. Anything that starts on the map that can be used right away is marked X, so it's forbidden, so that your people don't run all over the place collecting things. But I think it's going to be relatively safe, actually, if we end up collecting this metal and the silver early. The earlier, actually, we pick it up, the better. There's some old abandoned buildings here with some ancient crypto-sleep caskets. We'll open those later. Apparently, there's some sort of surprises you can get there. I have no idea. I'm not really spoiled in the game, so for things like that, I have no idea if opening them is a really, really good idea or a really, really bad idea, or somewhere in the middle. We've got some deer here. We can do some hunting. Let's take a look at our actual starting stock over here. We're going to unforbid the various metals and silvers and guns and survival packs and a knife and a Lee Enfield. So we've got a rifle, a pistol, and a stabby dagger. So if we're going to go ahead and cycle through our characters, who had the best shooting skill? Shooting skill of 8 over here on Amelia Ng. So I'm going to go ahead and give her the Lee Enfield rifle, which gives her a nice range. And then over here, Nerhesi, he's got the second best shooting skill, so we'll give him the pistol. And Wolf actually has decent melee skills, so we'll go ahead and give him the knife as well. I'll just unpause while they go ahead and pick that up, and then we'll start giving out some commands. So we are in a fairly open area, and we have to be a little bit concerned about our defenses. We will be attacked. Maybe what we actually want to do is sort of secure this area over here. There's a few nice little choke points and that we could wall off pretty cheaply, and it might be a great place for us to start. If we wall this off, we can leave this area open over here, drop another wall over here, and then wall off this area. And you can't wall yourself off completely because I think, well, A, you might need to get in and out, and B, I think then people just start attacking your wall, so you sort of leave an area open, and then you make some sort of kill zone. Again, I'm not really up to the strategy here, so expect some pretty doofy things. The other thing to consider is geothermal power. We've got a steam geyser over there, and... oh! And some in here, in these little sort of buildings. That's really interesting. And more over here. Okay, what we could consider instead is sort of securing this area over here and building our initial base here. We've even got a building already set up that we can possibly take advantage of. That might work out all right. Okay, I'm going to do that. That way we get a couple of geysers for power. This one's in a really awkward location anyway. That would have been outside our little garrison. Might start with solar power, but if we've got the geysers, we can do that. So let's assume we're going to build our initial base right in this area here. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is right away, we're going to designate a growing zone. We're going to start growing some crops. Or might I want to do that? We could turn this into a refrigeration zone. We'll have to see. Hey, there's a turtle over there. Let's make a, I don't know, sort of a 6x6 growing area, and then maybe right next to it a 6x6 stockpile. So if we go to our overview screen, we can see who's assigned to what. Angie by default is not assigned to any growing duties. She's not quite as skilled, and I guess that's reasonable that she's not. Nerhesi here is our chief doctor and warden because they have actually got some social skills, which is nice to see. We're going to put everyone on plant cutting so that when we do designate some tree chopping, we're going to put everyone down. And we'll give Engie the mining skill as well, because if we do designate some things to be mined out for metals, we'll get her to participate. So other than that, we're going to go ahead and flag some trees over here to be chopped, just to make sure we've got a ton of wood. And there we have it. So right now, the people are going to be hauling all those goods we designated from all over the place over into these stockpiles, and they're also going to clear out this little growing zone here so we can start to do a wee bit of farming. So if we go over to our power situation, yeah, see, I was going to say about that. We actually don't start with the technology to work geysers. So we're actually going to start with solar panels, which is fine. Now, this structure here, if I say I want to claim this structure. Now, these are limestone walls. Why is it? There's sound, right? Yeah, just kind of low. Put the music up a little bit. There we go. If I just throw down some doors in these openings, will that be sufficient to make sure it's ceiling? I don't know if there's a ceiling on here. I don't know if there's a way to find that out. So let's go into structure. We use some wooden doors. And we'll just drop some wooden doors on all 4 of those and hope that that's enough to drop the ceiling. So, solar panel. Power's good. Bedrooms are also pretty important. We might want to prioritize that. I'm going to go ahead and start with normal wooden walls. This pop-up menu where you choose your material, it's a terrible interface. That desperately needs to be changed. Absolutely. We'll make a set of bedrooms over here. Apparently, the magic number to get people to not feel like they've got a cramped bedroom is a 6x5 bedroom, or possibly a 6x6. I'll try 6x5 and see how it goes here. Do something like this, so like that, and like that, and then we'll just continue off the wall that way. That, wall there, that. So we're going to start everyone with relatively large bedrooms. The other way of doing it, while people don't like sharing bedrooms, as long as they're sharing a relatively spacious bedroom, the overall penalty is not too terrible. We're going to need some beds, specifically wooden beds. We'll drop them into the bedroom over here. And, you know, they'll have relatively nice rooms. Do we want them in the corner, in the middle? We'll do that. I don't think these are going to be our bedrooms forever. We'll see how it goes. We'll probably have some, you know, larger apartments at some point. These are pretty generous beds for the first few people to make sure they survive. And then anyway, I want to set up some early power. And apparently we're going to have to build a couple of solar generators, which are vulnerable to eclipses and all kinds of things, but we'll do what we can. I think we'll go and do something kind of like that. And I'm going to drop a couple of batteries inside of here. Batteries are vulnerable to getting hit by the rain, so we want to make sure to, well, to do exactly what I'm doing over here. And then the other thing we'll do is run a conduit there. I'm not using the walls that have the built-in conduits, just because it will actually save a little bit of metal this way. And then we can... Is that under furniture the one I want? Yeah, drop a lamp in the middle of everyone's bedroom. And then we can also drop a lamp inside of here. Oh, that's not going to be connected. Power. Power conduit. And then drop one right over there. Okay, that should all get built. So everyone's pretty busy right now. They're hauling, they're eating from their packaged survival meal, That is fine. We already got our crops growing, which is really good. And right now they're going to be stored in here, but we'll move things over at some point. The potatoes that we grow here, they don't tend to rot, but food that we get later on from, say, hunting, for example, it tends to rot pretty quickly, so we'll want some sort of refrigeration service. And I think prepared meals also rot relatively fast. So we're going to do that. Once these bedrooms are set up, which I'm going to go ahead and pump the speed up to speed 3 while everything gets carried around. Once the bedrooms are set up, we're going to set up another big building, set up an early research lab, which I like to do, and as well as a little bit of a dining area as well. We can actually use some of this space for something as well. We'll see exactly what we want to do. So you'll notice, actually, when it's daytime, there are real-time shadows. It's only 5 degrees outside. Is anyone cold by any chance? Eat off ground, they're tired, unpleasant conversation. Can we see their actual temperature? No, there's no injuries or anything like that. So at above 0, they're probably okay. If we check their gear, they've got a jacket and pants on. Can I get information about these? Oh, there, information. Minimum comfortable temperature. Below this temperature, characters will be unhappy. Significantly below this. But that's for this jacket specifically, and I'm assuming the pants have a different value. -3. Do they stack? I actually don't know. I don't know where we discover that. But presumably it looks like they can get relatively cold and it's fine. Maybe it's below, maybe it's that temperature below room temperature or below 0. I don't know. I'm sure if I check the wiki, I'd get some information. Now, some of this temperature stuff is very new. Alpha 8 just came out, I think, yesterday. So there's probably going to be a bit of a lack of some of that info anyway. Look at those lights set up. All right, we'll let them finish all this stuff. At some point, we will need to worry about the fences. We'll need to worry about lots of things. No one's idle right now. Some buildings need power, but that's because our stuff's not set up. We got our blueprints. We don't have, I think, enough steel, actually, to get the power up. So we're going to have to go ahead and designate some mining areas. Now, what do we have here? Compacted plasteel. We've got actual steel over there. And, oh, yes, we do have some steel right over here, which is good. So we're going to go ahead and designate some mining jobs right there so that we can finish our solar panels. That being said, we've got some bedrooms. So people are going to be able to sleep there. We've got no food stored right now. So they're just still eating their survival meals. And that's okay. Right now, no one's going to be starving to death, but we do need to get some food in storage soon. Push comes to shove, we can always do a little bit of hunting. That's totally fine. Angie's got our rifle, and she's our best shot. So just right off the top, I'm going to make sure she's the one designated as the hunter. She's probably going to do the best job of doing that right now if we do need any hunting. But unless we get a butcher set up, and ideally some sort of cooking system, it's not going to be a good idea to... it's not going to be a good idea to do any of the hunting anyway. All right, we're going to set up the power. Now, once that's done, a little bit more chopping over there, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and set up another structure over here that's going to be a little bit larger, and that's going to be our dining hall and an early research lab. I really like to get the research early. I guess we could use the conduit walls on this one, just for convenience. But you see, the conduit walls will take 1 steel and 6 wood as opposed to just 6 wood. Now, a power conduit takes 1 steel. So basically, it's just as if you built a power conduit in every wall. Now, you know what? At this stage in the game, we really do need to save our resources, so we'll just go for a regular wooden wall. And I'm going to tuck it just south of the stockpiles over here. Actually, let's cancel that and give us a 2-gap space between the buildings as well. I can line it up on the bottom here. That might look aesthetically pleasing. We'll put some doors. We could use auto doors, which open and close automatically for you if they're powered, to save a little bit of time. Door in the front, door in the back. And preemptively, we'll go ahead and drive a power conduit basically through the middle there. So that overall will use less steel than the other setup. I think we're going to end up needing more solar panels. Actually, hopefully we can just hook up in with the geothermals and power things off there. We'll see how it goes. We want to get to the point where our batteries last through the entire night with plenty of charge left over. Because A, we might get eclipses, and B, if we have to run guns, we'll drain a lot of power very, very quickly. Also, if we have to do any air conditioning whatsoever, we will definitely need to... have a little bit more power in reserve. Alright, so we'll get this room set up. I think it's not so big that it won't get roofed. We're going to find out. On the off chance that no roof will come up, we'll go ahead and put a little dot in the middle. Need a meal source. I know. I mean, I suppose I can start putting it down right away, but the problem is if it rains, it can short out, start a fire. And all my buildings are wooden right now. So we got that. Is there any way to find out? Constructed roof. Okay. No roof, right? Because it's not done yet. This has got a constructed roof. This doesn't. Ah, all right. So this is properly roofed in. Detected a cluster of cargo ponds. Ooh, bunch of berries. We'll go ahead and unforbid that. Now, if they eat that raw, they're going to be a little unhappy, right? If I go ahead and check these thoughts. Ate off the ground, had an unpleasant conversation. All right, so they haven't eaten anything raw yet because they're still eating the survival packs. But we're very, very, very soon going to need a proper meal source. So in order of like crappy meals, a raw meal gives them the most negative points. A meal from a nutrient dispenser. Ooh, do we have a heat wave? No, just a little bit of a graphic thing going on. A meal out of a nutrient dispenser is still bad, but not quite as terrible. And then you've got an actual cooked meal, which gives no penalties whatsoever. And then you can actually end up with better and better cooked meals as well if you want. Are you trying to finish that? There we are. Nope, still finish the wall. And it's all roofed in. It's all roofed in. Wonderful. Perfect. So let's go ahead and put a lamp in there. Say right in the middle. Get that lit up. Under production, we're going to put in a nutrient paste dispenser right here, and a couple of hoppers for some food right there. And then we'll go into furniture. We'll build a short wooden table right here up against the wall. This should be okay. And get 4 chairs over there so people can start eating. And then the other thing, and I really like to do this, maybe this is a little crazy, is I really like to get a research bench going early. Something like that. Can you make it out of anything other than steel? I can make it out of wood. Nice. Okay. Sounds good to me. And we're going to put in some floors in here relatively soon. We've got some wood left over, because floors are sexy. Especially, I really like the wooden floors. They're simple, but they look nice. So we'll go ahead and drop some floors in there just to make everyone a little bit happier. I think it affects their movement speed as well. I mean, it's possible that a wooden floor doesn't really make much of a difference, but there we have it. So put that all in. Everyone's going to be busy. Need defenses, need meal sources. A group from Bliss's Mountain are visiting the colony. So there's a few other colonies on this planet, and they will occasionally come by and visit. Some of them are hostile, some of them are friendly. I don't know what kind of interactions you can do. Like if I just click on Wolf over here and then try to right-click Lovegood, there's nothing really I could do. I could draft him, and then I could try to attack these people. I can try to capture them is one of the things I can do, but that will aggro the colony, and basically will be declaring war. I can take people prisoner, though, and then try to convert them to my side. That's going to be fine. We'll go ahead and wait. Have another night's sleep. I think what I'll do is order a few more trees to be cut over here, because we will need a bit of extra wood soon. And what is this? Silver ore. So silver, you can build with silver ore, but you can also, it represents currency, coinage, that you can use to trade. So it's a nice kind of fungible resource there. The visitors from Bliss's Mountain are leaving. We'll get the nutrient dispenser down. And there we go. Oh, you know what? People won't be able to build the floor underneath that zone. So we'll make sure to cancel these orders just so we don't get those little squares. What? Oh, there's a crazy squirrel. The squirrel has gone nuts and will attack everyone nearby. So what I'll do is sort of a preventative thing. All my people are armed. If I grab them all... Oh, there's NG over there. I'm going to draft them. And then where's that squirrel? Oh, there it is. So I'm going to get everyone to sort of group up here by Nerhesi. So they can hopefully coordinate. So she's got her pistol, which has a pretty good firing. She's about to try to shoot the squirrel. And the squirrel is actually biting Nerhesi. That's awful. Okay, NG, don't shoot the squirrel. Just melee it. And Wolf, you go and melee attack it as well. There we go. All you guys can be undrafted at this point. And we'll unforbid that as well. So now that we've got a squirrel, if we did have a butcher thing, we could go ahead and butcher that up. You can see it'll spoil in 5 days if it's not refrigerated. So Nerhesi's actually hurt. Now, how badly hurt is he? He's been bitten in the head and the torso, and is currently bleeding. For safety's sake, I'm going to go and turn one bed. Actually, I think it's the bed he was going to. I'm going to set it as a medical bed. And I think Nerhesi will then use the medical bed, lie down, and people will come over and treat Nerhesi. I don't want to get contaminated. Ideally, I would like to have one bedroom just permanently assigned to being sort of the medical ward. Especially if I put in multiple beds in there later on, so we can treat more than one person at the same time. 128 construction materials are missing. It's all wood that's missing. Okay, well, as soon as people get around to chopping down the trees, then that will no longer be a problem. You can see Nerhesi here is healing. Cutting down the oak trees that are living in the rooms. They'll cut those down before we can work the rest of it. What is this event? Microbiologist from Engineers Desert is passing by. He is named Jonathan Jono Rigby. So I could, if I wanted to, attempt to capture him. But of course, that would aggro the other group. So I'm just going to leave it be. Sometimes people will just show up and join your colony willingly, which is quite nice. Anyway, we've got a bit of a start going on, which I think is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here. And we will continue this next time. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye-bye.